Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am VC Pramod and with me is RS Raghu with the evening news. The headlines. Super cyclone storm Amphan weakens to a deep depression following a trail of destruction in West Bengal and Odisha. NDRF teams start relief and rescue operations. Director General S.N. Pradhan says normalcy in affected areas of Odisha is expected to be restored in the next 24 to 48 hours. West Bengal government constitutes 1,000 crore rupee fund for post-cyclone reconstruction work. Prime Minister Narendra Modi assures all possible help to affected states, says entire nation stands in solidarity. Civil Aviation Ministry issues guidelines for airlines, airports and passengers on domestic flight resumption from Monday. Booking of train tickets to resume at 1.7 lakh common service centers from tomorrow. And US Senate passes a bill to delist Chinese companies from American stock exchanges. Director General of National Disaster Response Force NDRF S.N. Pradhan has said the cyclone Amphan has impacted much in West Bengal than the areas came under it during the landfall in Odisha. Addressing media in New Delhi today, normalcy in the affected areas of Odisha is expected to be restored in the 24 to 48 hours. He informed that a team of Home Ministry will visit the states to assess the damage to the property.
उड़ीसा में नुकसान उतना भारी नहीं है। ये उम्मीद है कि 24 से 48 घंटे में उनके सभी इम्पैक्ट वाले डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में लाइफ नॉर्मल में आ जाएगा। Life will be back to normal.
He said situation in Odisha is under control. He said weather has moderated in Odisha and some people have started returning to their homes. He said soon after Cyclone Amphan made landfall yesterday, NDRF teams had fanned out and started work as per deployment in Odisha in the afternoon itself and by evening in West Bengal. He said NDRF teams deployed are operational and we will continue to provide services till states require services. He said NDRF teams worked throughout the night in order to clear roads and restore normalcy as soon as possible. He also said around 5 lakh people evacuated in West Bengal have been told to remain in shelters, while in Odisha more than 2.37 lakh people in Odisha were evacuated.
अभी एनडीआरएफ का जो कमिटमेंट है वो किसी भी एंगल से खत्म नहीं हुआ है, बल्कि जो ज्यादा काम है अब शुरू हुआ है, क्योंकि जो जहां पर डिस्ट्रक्शन हुआ है या डैमेज हुआ है उसमें रेस्टोरेशन का काम बहुत बड़ा काम होता है और इसमें समय लगता है। तो इसलिए हम लोग राज्य सरकार के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर काम कर रहे हैं और अभी भी हम लोग डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के साथ कोऑर्डिनेशन में हैं और जहां वो कहते हैं कि यहां काम करना है और यहां क्लियरेंस करना है और यहां मदद करनी है वो हम लोग करते रहेंगे।
Mr. Pradhan said the forecast of the IMD about the cyclone was totally accurate and it being a user department, the NDRF is very grateful to IMD for this. The NDRF DG said the correct climatological intelligence provided by IMD has enabled the NDRF to minimize loss of life and property in the cyclone-hit areas. India Meteorological Department IMD DG M. Mohapatra said that cyclone Amphan has weakened from a super cyclonic storm to a cyclonic storm today morning. He said it crossed India-Bangladesh border at 11:30 p.m. yesterday and it has now weakened to a deep depression and centered over Bangladesh. He said there is also no threat of cyclone in Bangladesh as it has converted into deep depression. Mr. Mohapatra said 50 to 60 kilometers per hour wind speed is expected in Bangladesh and Meghalaya for the next 3 hours and this is not expected to cause any structural damage. He said there is no strong wind expected for tomorrow. He said the IMD utilized its latest technology and expertise for the forecast of the cyclone. The West Bengal government has constituted a fund of 1,000 crore rupees for post-Amphan reconstruction work in the state. Giving this information in Kolkata this afternoon, Chief Minister Ms. Mamta Banerjee said that 72 people have died in the storm-related incidents so far. Earlier, Ms. Banerjee chaired a high-level meeting to assess the extent of damages caused by the super cyclonic storm. More from our Kolkata correspondent.
West Bengal government has announced 2,50,000 rupees compensation to the families of each victim died due to Amphan. Out of total casualties, highest number of 17 deaths were reported in North 24 Parganas district, followed by Kolkata 15. The Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee will make an aerial survey at severely hit Sundarban's area in next Saturday. The Home Minister Amit Shah called up the Chief Minister and assured all kinds of help in relief and restoration work. She also allocated work among ministers in the affected places with an instruction to ensure supply of relief materials and drinking water to the cyclone-hit people besides other restoration-related work. Arijit Chakraborty, AIR News, Kolkata.
In Odisha, Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik has made an aerial survey of the cyclone Amphan affected districts. He has directed the officials to ramp up restoration and relief activities. The CM has also expressed deep grief at the loss of lives and massive damage to the property in West Bengal due to cyclone. CM Naveen Patnaik said that the people of Odisha stand with the people of West Bengal at this hour of crisis. A report.
Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik conducted an aerial survey of the cyclone-hit coastal districts. The Chief Minister expressed deep concern at the extensive damages, especially to that of standing crops in these districts due to cyclone. The CM has also directed the officials to set up restoration and relief activities. The CM informed that road clearance and connectivity issues will be sorted out by tomorrow morning. The power supply will also be normal in next 24 to 72 hours. Manpower and material have been mobilized for restoration on a war footing. Agricultural crop damage assessment will be completed in next 3 days. Cyclone Amphan has affected nearly 44 lakh people in 89 blocks in the state. Itishri Singh Rathore, AIR News, Cuttack.
Meghalaya also witnessed the ripple effect of cyclone Amphan, with heavy rains hitting the state and rivers, streams overflowing and waterlogging taking place at many areas. All the areas in East Khasi Hills district, including neighbouring districts, also witnessed heavy rain. Areas around Polo witnessed waterlogging and flash floods.
Water from nearby streams and drains entered residential complex in different parts of Shillong city, and in few places roads were submerged. While reports on the effects of the cyclone is awaited from few other districts, it was informed that apart from mudsliding, heavy rains and waterlogging in few areas, nothing major has been reported till the filing of this report. It may be mentioned that Revenue and Disaster Management Minister Krimen Silla yesterday said that all the deputy commissioners of the respective districts have been put in alert in view of the cyclone Amphan. The state disaster machinery is in place to deal with any eventualities if needed be. Light to heavy showers with thunder and lightning are expected in many parts of Meghalaya, as per the Indian Meteorological Department. This is Rustam for AIR News, Shillong.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said no stone will be left unturned in helping the cyclone Amphan affected people. In a series of tweets, Mr. Modi said the NDRF teams are working in the cyclone affected parts and top officials are closely monitoring the situation and also working in close coordination with the West Bengal government. The Prime Minister said he has been seeing visuals from West Bengal on the devastation caused by the cyclone, and in this challenging hour, the entire nation stands in solidarity with the state. Mr. Modi said he is praying for the well-being of the people of the state. He added that efforts are on to ensure normalcy. Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba today reviewed the situation in the Amphan cyclone-affected areas of Odisha and West Bengal in the meeting of the National Crisis Management Committee. Chief Secretaries of Odisha and West Bengal informed that timely and accurate forecast by Indian Meteorological Department and advanced deployment of National Disaster Response Force facilitated in evacuation of about 5 lakh people in West Bengal and about 2 lakh in Odisha. West Bengal informed that there were major damages to agriculture, power and telecommunication facilities in cyclone-affected areas. Odisha informed that damages have been mainly limited to agriculture.
Civil Aviation Ministry has issued guidelines for airlines, airports, passengers and other stakeholders on domestic flights resumption. Only passengers with confirmed web check-in can enter the airport. There will be no physical checking at airport counters. Addressing media in New Delhi, Mr. Puri said the domestic flight operation will resume at limited extent of required and approved summer schedule. Limits on airfares have been set in 7 bands as per the flight durations, and they would be in place till August 24th. The minister said for a journey between 90 to 120 minutes, the minimum fare will be 3,500 rupees and maximum would be 10,000 rupees. He said passengers with red status on Arogya Setu app will not be allowed to travel. Passengers will have to wear face mask and carry sanitizer bottles.
जो प्रोटोकॉल्स बनाए गए हैं, जहां पे हमारे नागरिक रहते हैं, वहां से जाके हवाई अड्डे तक, हवाई अड्डे के अंदर, हवाई जहाज के अंदर, और जहां पे पोर्ट ऑफ डिसएम्बार्केशन है, वहां से हवाई अड्डे से डेस्टिनेशन। जैसे मैंने आपसे पहले कहा कि जो डेट ऑफ कमेंसमेंट है सोमवार 25 मई को 1/3 ऑपरेशंस जारी किए जाएंगे। हवाई अड्डे पे देयर विल बी नो फिजिकल चेक इन, ओनली ए वेब चेक इन विल बी अलाउड। ए सेल्फ डिक्लेरेशन और आरोग्य सेतु ऐप स्टेटस on a compatible device would also be obtained that the passenger is free of COVID-19 symptoms. Passengers जिनका red status हो इस ऐप पे, they will not be allowed to travel.
Mr. Puri said 1/3 capacity of approved summer schedule 2020 will be allowed to operate for flight operations from metro to metro cities. More from our correspondent.
In a set of detailed guidelines, the Civil Aviation Ministry has advised the vulnerable people like the elderly, pregnant women, and passengers battling health issues to avoid air travel. People residing in the containment zone will also not be allowed to travel. People who have been tested positive for COVID-19 will not be allowed to travel. All passengers will have to provide their medical details through the Arogya Setu app or by filling up a self-declaration form. Passengers will have to report to airports 2 hours before the flights are scheduled to depart, and they will have to strictly follow social distancing norms. The rules included no meals on board, mandatory temperature check for all passengers, and allowing only one check-in bag for each passenger. Boarding for flight will commence 60 minutes before departure, and boarding gate will be closed 20 minutes before departure. Passengers will have to wear protective gear like masks. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Railway Minister Piyush Goyal today said booking of train tickets will resume at around 1.7 lakh common service centres across the country by tomorrow. He said people who are in remote locations where the availability of computers and internet is negligible or absent can also access it. The minister said bookings will also resume at counters at specific railway stations over the next 2 to 3 days.
200 नॉन-एसी ट्रेन की सूची कल जारी कर दी गई है। उसकी बुकिंग आज सुबह 10 बजे से प्रोग्रेसिवली बढ़ाते जा रहे हैं। अब लगभग 75 ट्रेनों की बुकिंग शुरू हो गई है और ट्रेनें जोड़ते जाएंगे। जो कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर्स हैं, कल तक हम उन सब में भी बुकिंग शुरू कर देंगे। 2-3 दिन बाद अलग अलग स्टेशन, मेन स्टेशन पे काउंटर्स भी शुरू करेंगे।
Earlier, Railways announced the operation of 200 trains from the 1st of June, of which booking started at 10 a.m. today. The minister said the Railways, which started the Shramik special train on 1st of May, has run 2,050 such trains since then, ferrying around 30 lakh migrants, students and other stranded people. Participating in our live phone-in program Samvad, a senior railway official said that only confirmed and RAC ticket holders will be allowed to board the train.
सबसे पहले अगर यात्री अपने घर से निकलता है तो उसके पास कंफर्म रिजर्वेशन टिकट या आरएसी रिजर्वेशन टिकट मिनिमम होना चाहिए, तभी वो अपने घर से निकले। इस टिकट के बेसिस पे वो स्टेशन तक लॉकडाउन के दौरान भी उनको जाने की छूट होगी। उनके साथ एक ड्राइवर अलाउड है जो उनको वहां तक छोड़ के स्टेशन तक वापस आ सकता है। प्लेटफॉर्म में एंटर करने से पहले उनकी थर्मल स्क्रीनिंग होगी। अगर कोई आदमी में किसी व्यक्ति में सिम्टम मिलता है तो उस सिम्टम वाले व्यक्ति को रोका जाएगा। कोई यात्रा की अनुमति नहीं होगी। उनको तुरंत मेडिकल चिकित्सा सहायता उपलब्ध कराई जाएगी। इसके अतिरिक्त उनके साथ अगर अन्य लोग उस पीएनआर में हैं तो उनको यात्रा करने की छूट होगी और चाहे तो यात्रा निरस्त भी कर सकते हैं। दोनों ही केस में हम उनको फुल रिफंड देने वाले।
In a unique outreach initiative, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar will talk to community radios in the country tomorrow. It will take place at 7 p.m. The talk will be simultaneously broadcast on all community radio stations of the country. The talk will be broadcast in 2 segments, one Hindi and one English. Listeners can also tune in to AIR FM Gold to listen to the minister at 7:30 p.m. in Hindi and at 9:10 p.m. in English. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Super cyclone storm Amphan weakens to a deep depression following trail of destruction in West Bengal and Odisha. NDRF teams start relief and rescue operations. Director General S.N. Pradhan says normalcy in affected areas of Odisha is expected to be restored in next 24 to 48 hours. West Bengal government constitutes 1,000 crore rupees fund for post-cyclone reconstruction work. Prime Minister Narendra Modi assures all possible help to affected states, says entire nation stands in solidarity. Civil Aviation Ministry issues guidelines for airlines, airports and passengers on domestic flight resumption from Monday. Booking of train tickets to resume at 1.7 lakh common service centers from tomorrow, and US Senate passes a bill to delist Chinese companies from American stock exchanges. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
In one-of-its-kind dialogue, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar interacts with community radios across the country.
You have transmission capacity of FM quality 15 kilometers around you, so you are very powerful and you are the agents of change. I am always eager to talk to all of you because you are important.
This interaction will be broadcast on all community radios at 7 p.m. on 22nd May. It can also be heard on FM Gold 100.1 MHz, AIR News 24/7 at 7:30 p.m. in Hindi and at 9:10 p.m. in English on the same day.
The government is undertaking the largest ever evacuation of stranded Indian nationals from countries across the world to India under the Vande Bharat mission. The second phase of Vande Bharat mission began on the 16th of this month, and this phase will last till 13th of June. India is looking to bring back nationals from 47 countries on 162 flights in this phase. Places like Istanbul and Ho Chi Minh City have been included in this phase, and flights have been increased to the US and Europe. Briefing media this afternoon, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastav said government is looking to develop Frankfurt as a hub. He said India is bringing back nationals from far-flung areas like Argentina and Peru. He said as of this afternoon, 23,475 Indian nationals have safely returned under this mission. They include over 4,800 workers, around 4,100 students and 3,087 professionals, among others. As of now, over 250,000 have registered to return from 98 countries, most of whom are workers and students. Over 25,000 Indian nationals stranded abroad have been brought back to India so far. These include citizens who are stranded or distressed. Speaking exclusively to AIR News, Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla said, apart from flights, Indian nationals have been brought from sea route and preparations are now on to bring them back by land routes as well.
In the last 2 weeks, that is phase 1 and parts of phase 2, we have been successful in bringing back 25,000 of our citizens who are stranded abroad. And that includes not just people who have come back by air, but also by ship. And as we go along, we will also look at bringing people by our land borders from countries like Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal. And so it is an extensive operation, and we have overcome some of the teething issues. We have got excellent cooperation from the state governments.
The Foreign Secretary also said that efforts are on to bring back Indian nationals from different parts of the world, including Europe.
We are focusing on countries that have larger concentrations of stranded Indians, but now we have also expanded our outreach to cover countries that are communities that are as large as those in Europe and America. But Europe has been a particular focus because there are large numbers of Indian nationals stranded in the UK, also in Germany, in France, in the Netherlands, in Spain. So we are organizing flights to all of these places.
5 flights from Muscat, Doha, Kuwait and Dubai from the Gulf region under the second phase of the Vande Bharat mission flew back more than 850 distressed and stranded Indians back to the country today. Muscat Delhi and Muscat Kozhikode took back nearly 360 Indians. It also brought 13 Oman nationals back from Delhi as well. Flight from Dubai to Thiruvananthapuram took back 177 passengers and 3 infants, while flight from Doha to Kochi also had 177 passengers with 8 infants. Kuwait, Hyderabad, Tirupati flight had 150 passengers and 1 infant on board. Under Vande Bharat mission, 2 flights from Muscat carrying expatriates reached Kochi and Kozhikode in Kerala today evening. 2 more flights from the Gulf region is scheduled to arrive in the state soon. A report.
Flight from Dubai to Thiruvananthapuram and flight from Doha to Kochi will be arriving in a short while. Over 700 stranded Indian nationals will be arriving in Kerala under the mission today. Meanwhile, Kerala continued to report a spike in COVID-19 cases, with 24 more positive cases being confirmed today. Out of the new cases, 14 people returned from abroad and 10 from other states. 8 people recovered from the disease today. The total active cases rose to 177 in the state, which is the highest figure since this month. Mayusha for AIR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
In Tamil Nadu, the total number of COVID-19 cases is almost touching the 14,000 mark, with 776 confirmed today. Chennai alone has recorded 567 new patients today. 400 patients were discharged today, leaving the active caseload at 7,588. 7 people died of the disease today, taking the total fatalities to 94. More from our correspondent.
A positive aspect in Tamil Nadu is that, except in Chennai, the epidemic curve in most other districts have begun getting flattened. In many districts, fresh cases are very less. The new cases today include 80 people who returned from other states and 7 others from other countries. Furthermore, the number of people getting discharged has also begun rising. The discharge ratio has touched nearly 45% today. However, a notable thing is that some patients who turned negative for the disease and discharge have tested positive again after a few days, though their number is only a few. Similarly, while testing the Vande Bharat evacuees immediately on their return, the number of infected people was very less, but after a week, during quarantine, many more have turned positive for the disease. Epidemiologists suspect that they might have contracted the disease during the travel. Such things, they say, need to be studied in detail. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
Health and Family Welfare Ministry said that a total of 45,300 people affected with coronavirus have been cured and the recovery rate has reached 40.31% in the country. During the last 24 hours, 3,002 people have recovered and 5,609 fresh cases of COVID-19 have been reported, taking the total number of cases to 1,12,359. A total 132 deaths have been registered in last 24 hours, taking the nationwide toll to 3,435. At present, mortality rate in India is 3.06%, which is much lower in comparison to the global mortality rate of 6.65%. Elderly people above 60 years and people having comorbidities are identified as high-risk groups for COVID-19, which constitute 50.5% of the total mortality rate of India. A total 103,532 samples of coronavirus were tested in the last 24 hours. Indian Council of Medical Research said that the total number of tests reached 26,15,920 in the country. Centre today asked states to strictly implement all measures to contain COVID-19. It said the local authorities must take all necessary steps to enforce the Home Ministry's guidelines related to lockdown. In a letter to State Chief Secretaries, Union Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla, while citing media reports and other sources over the violations of central guidelines, said all authorities in states and UTs should take necessary steps to ensure the implementation of measures to contain COVID-19. In Rajasthan, over 254,000 samples were tested for COVID-19, out of which 5,952 have been found positive. In all, 946 migrants have tested positive so far. The number of active cases in the state counts to 2,436, while 3,373 people have been cured. State Health Minister Dr. Raghu Sharma has said that the recovery rate of COVID-19 in the state is 57%, which is highest across the country.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has said that the impact of locust attack this time may be just double than last year. Last year, locusts entered the state in the last week of May. The locust damaged crop in the area of 7 lakh hectares spread over 12 districts. This was the biggest ever locust attack. This time, the locust entered in the state much earlier on April 11. The movement of locust is not confined to Rajasthan. It has reached Neemuch, Mandsaur, Ujjain and Dewas districts of Madhya Pradesh. As far as Rajasthan is concerned, the locusts have so far damaged crops in about 32,000 hectares. The State Agriculture Department has instructed all the district collectors to make adequate arrangements to control the movement of locusts so as to minimize the damage to the crop. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
With the increasing number of cases of novel coronavirus giving sleepless nights to the authorities, the Mumbai Civic Body has taken over 80% beds of private hospitals for a period of 90 days. More details from our Mumbai correspondent.
The Maharashtra government and Mumbai civic body is leaving no stone unturned to ensure that patients infected due to COVID-19 are given proper treatment and eventually their lives are saved. Acquiring 80% beds from private hospitals to treat COVID and non-COVID patients is also among the several measures undertaken by the authorities. In order to cater to more and more people, the MCGM has a strength of 330 ambulances at its disposal, which it says will reach to the needy in 10 to 15 minutes. In addition to this, a dashboard has been designed by the civic body, which will facilitate a needy residing in Mumbai to know about the hospitals and beds available there. Meanwhile, servicing the needs of the essentials across the country, the Mumbai International Airport has transported a total of 1,500 tons of medical equipments, besides 12,000 tons of pharma and 2,700 tons of agro products. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Jharkhand, Shramik special trains are regularly bringing the migrant labourers stuck in other states back to their native place. Today, 6 Shramik special trains ferried around 9,800 stranded labourers from states of Gujarat, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. A report.
Chief Minister Hemant Soren, in a written request to the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, has asked for permission from the centre to bring the stranded labourers of Jharkhand stuck in remote parts of the country through flights. Mr. Soren had also pleaded the central government earlier to provide permission to airlift more than 900 stranded migrants stuck in the Union Territory of Ladakh, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and the northeastern states of the country. Since the migrants cannot be brought back by any other transportation medium of either bus or train from these areas, airlifting them remain the only option left. Presently, 1.5 lakh labourers, students, tourists and pilgrims have returned to Jharkhand after the Shramik special trains have started commuting since May 1st. This is Shilpi for All India Radio News from Ranchi.
In our series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of the leading medical experts on COVID-19. Dr. Randeep Guleria, Director AIIMS Delhi, appealed to people to shed the stigma associated with COVID-19.
Coronavirus has caused COVID-19, which is a viral infection which started late last year and has now become a pandemic. However, this has also created unprecedented issues which are unfounded and mainly driven by fear rather than actual scientific facts.
News and reports have also started coming that people have started becoming afraid of doctors in this time.
Meanwhile, people continue to get benefits from central government welfare schemes. A farmer, Sukhlal Verma from Pilibhit district in Uttar Pradesh, thanked the government for getting 2,000 rupees under PM Kisan scheme.
मुझे प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि से 2,000 रुपए का लाभ हुआ है जो मेरे खाते में आए हैं। उससे मैं अपना घरेलू खर्च चला रहा हूं। मैं प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will travel to West Bengal and Odisha tomorrow to take stock of the situation in the wake of cyclone Amphan. The Prime Minister's office said Mr. Modi will conduct aerial surveys and take part in review meetings where aspects of relief and rehabilitation will be discussed.
In an effort to guard against fake news being circulated on various platforms, we bring you our segment on fact-checking and mythbusters. Government has dismissed a WhatsApp message claiming that Ayushman-Yojana.org is the official website of Ayushman Bharat Yojana. In a tweet, Press Information Bureau described it as false. Veteran actor Raza Murad has appealed to the people to celebrate the festival of Eid within the confines of their homes. Talking to AIR News, Murad said people should not indulge in extravagant shopping of clothes for Eid as the country is going through a tough time. They should rather help the needy.
आप सबसे ये इल्तिजा करता हूं कि ये जो ईद है ये बहुत ही सादगी से मनाएं। इसमें ज्यादा खर्च करने की या नए कपड़े खरीदने की जरूरत नहीं है। इस वक्त जो जरूरतमंद लोग हैं जो आज काम नहीं कर रहे हैं कोविड-19 की वजह से, वो ज्यादा मुस्तहिक हैं इन पैसों के, इस मदद के। उसकी हमें खिलाफ वर्जी नहीं करनी है। हमें ईद घर पे ही सादगी से मनानी है और न ही हमें किसी से गले मिलना है और न ही हमें हाथ मिलाना है।
U.S. Senate has passed a bill to delist Chinese companies from American stock exchanges. The Senate on Wednesday unanimously approved the bill brought by Republican Senator John Kennedy and Democrat Senator Chris Van Hollen.
And now, before we end, the headlines once again. Super cyclone storm Amphan weakens to a deep depression following trail of destruction in West Bengal and Odisha. NDRF teams start relief and rescue operations. Director General S.N. Pradhan says normalcy in affected areas of Odisha is expected to be restored in the next 24 to 48 hours. West Bengal government constitutes 1,000 crore rupees fund for post-cyclone reconstruction work. Prime Minister Narendra Modi assures all possible help to affected states, says entire nation stands in solidarity. Civil Aviation Ministry issues guidelines for airlines, airports and passengers on domestic flight resumption from Monday. Booking of train tickets to resume at 1.7 lakh common service centers from tomorrow. And US Senate passes a bill to delist Chinese companies from American stock exchanges. And with that, we end the evening news.